You talked about cooperating with other zoos and associations that you belong to. Can you talk about the importance of that, any sort of governing body, and how zoos are managed as far as oversight from
Sure.
some other organization?
Sure, because we have animals on exhibit, we are governed by managed by the USDA. We have to have that, and that they come and make sure that we're holding everything to the standards where they need to be in animal care, exhibitry, safety, etc. We chose to apply for the AZA, which is the American Zoo Association. And being a member of the AZA since 1995, we're not the smallest zoo, the smallest metropolitan area in the nation to have an AZA accredited zoo. And that even takes it even higher. And that's a choice to belong to that, but it's a huge accreditation process. My first job task by my supervisor when I went from zookeeper to zoo director was, let's see if we can get Chahinkapa Zoo AZA accredited. And I learned more in that accreditation in the application process than I would have working years and years here. So it was a really good first task, and that's even higher standards on everything from animal care to animal escape drills to the education and background of everybody who works here. And then they come to the zoo and spend 2 to 3 days going through everything with a fine-tooth comb. It's a really exciting time because you know it's going to help your facility. And then once accredited, then you go every 5 years, you go through the same process. Again, no rubber stamping, just making sure your standards are high. And I love to belong to an organization that you know you are meeting or exceeding what their standards are, so we know that we keep our conservation and education first and foremost. There's also ZAA, so there's other organizations out there to help keep your standards high, and so again, we've been AZ accredited since 1995.
Okay, Kathy's going to introduce us to Miko the spider monkey, and as you're going to find out, there's a very interesting story related to Miko.
Okay, so Nico was born here at the zoo, and sometimes in the wild and in captivity, they will not accept their offspring. And we separated all the other monkeys, and she still didn't accept Nico back. In fact, hurt him. So at that time, we looked for a non-human surrogate. But of course, any non-human surrogate that wouldn't have a baby already wouldn't also have the milk. So very soon it became apparent that we need to help this little guy, and we carried him in a baby snuggly. He very quickly became a one-person monkey. He imprinted very quickly on myself, and so of course when the babies are born they hang on to mom, and a spider monkey, mom's got this nice hair everywhere. Well, mine's here. So Nico lived on my head for about 18 months until it was time to acclimate him with spider monkeys. And today Nico is 13 years old, doing very, very well. And he had a little program for a while on Animal Planet called Raising Nico. And it was why spider monkeys and any exotics are not pets. But the plight of Nico was so that he needed that care at the time. We had a gibbon who had a baby, a gibbon ape, so they don't have tails, who almost accepted him, but she was already nursing. They're highly endangered, and I didn't know if we wanted to bring her health down by giving her a little spider monkey that we didn't know would survive. And the first thing she tried to do was bite its tail off because she's going to make it look like her other kid. But so we raised Nico by hand, and as you can see, he's done very, very well. And here we have, there he is. We have Cookie here and Miley back there. And those are his friends in the trio in here. Of the 7 primate species we have at the zoo, Dave, this is the only true monkey, and you can tell that by their prehensile tail because they grab on with it. They only have 4 fingers, and they brachiate using those, and the tail is used as a 5th limb, and it's so sensitive that it can pick up the smallest seed or something with it. And sometimes you see them holding tails instead of holding hands because they're very, very gregarious and like their troop that they're in. So he's gonna be one of my favorites forever.
That's awesome.
Hold. Good girl. Very nice, Cookie. Stand. Hold.
Where's the TV guys?
Hold.
They're not? Yeah, they're not.
Very good. Cookie. What? Hold.
Very good. Good job, buddy. Good job.
Here. Hold.
Good. Good job.
Kelsey, Cookie, let me see her hand. We'll see if she'll show you her hand. Come here. Do you guys see her hand?
Yeah.
What is she missing?
A palm?
A thumb.
Oh.
Yep, spider monkeys don't have thumbs. So they use their tail as another limb so that way they can easily grasp things. They can pick up a tiny raisin with that tail.
Do they ever breed?
We're trying. Nico, where'd he go? Over here. He is supposed to be interested in Cookie, but we haven't seen the interest yet. Miley is a non-breeder, so we're expecting Nico to start breeding.
How old are they all?
How old are they? Let's see. Nico just turned 13, which puts Cookie at 13 and Miley at 14. So these guys will live to be in their about 30s, 40s, hopefully. As long as we keep them nice and healthy, which we will. Hi, Nico Pants! How you doing, buddy? Nice to see you. Now don't let this fool you. If he wanted to, he could pull me right into this fence, and then he would start ripping off things. Hair, ears, anything. But because they can be. But because they have a relationship with us, we're able to be this close. And Nico actually was raised by him a little bit, and then by Kathy, our director. Nico's mom, right from the get-go, decided that she didn't want to be a mom. So Kathy, in order to save Nico's life, raised Nico for 18 months on her head. Now, if you think that's a really cool thing, it's not. We don't raise animals as pets. We do it to save their lives. So she did bring him places because she had to. You know, you still got to live your life, but she had to keep him hidden. He got, once he started venturing off her, they taught him how to climb. But then she couldn't go in any places. She could never go out to eat unless she found a babysitter, which was more often her mom or her kids were babysitting. Because you can't bring animals into restaurants. So right now we are hand raising a kangaroo. His mom kicked him out of the pouch back in February, and we are really excited to start having him be in with our mom because he does come home with us every night to still be in a pouch. And let me tell you, it's a lot of work to have to do that. So,
Which country do they originate from?
the spider monkeys are from South America.
Or are they?
Yep.
In the rainforest?
These guys were all born here though. Well, Cookie actually came from Watertown.
Do they shed too?
They do not. No, because where they come from, their temperatures don't fluctuate that much where they have to grow a winter hair or a summer hair. So they just have one type of hair. So in the wintertime, these guys cannot come outside, or gibbons cannot come outside, lemurs, orang, animals that live in those warmer climates have to stay in because their bodies are not made to handle our cold winters. So we make sure that we give them lots of activities.
On their legs, do they have 5 toes?
They do have one kind of weird toe, yeah. A little bit different than ours.
from the monkeys to the apes.
We're evolving.
We're evolving, and and understand that there's quite a bit of. This is a family.
It's a
You
family.
have pure bloodlines again,
Yeah, we are very happy about that.
and some
So-
interesting dynamics amongst the family.
Indeed. Now you're going to meet Tal, the great ape, but
Yeah.
these are apes, but they are one of the smallest apes. The white-handed gibbon, highly endangered, and even though they're not at the top of the great ape dynamic, they are the most closely related to the human family structure than any other primate. So both mom and dad will parent, both mom and dad will discipline. So it's really fun to watch this family that we have in here. They also, besides humans, they're the only primate that habitually walk upright without dragging their hands or knuckles. So they're fun to watch. So we have the mom. She's at the water dish right now. We have a toddler in here, a 3-year-old. And then we have dad, and so there's a family of 4, and they're fantastic. They not only have that opposable thumb like we do, Dave, they have the opposable toe. So the most acrobatic of all primates in the world, including, your high wire acts. So yeah, they're very, very fun to watch, and they have a really interesting call, and they're very loud when they do their call, and they probably won't be doing it for you today. They're just kind of showing off to show you their activity. They love their habitat, being out in it, and as you can see, fantastic. Swinging apes.
A lot of fun to watch, that's for
They're
sure.
very fun. People say, what's the most popular habitat in the zoo? It's the one that's the most active that day, and these guys have been the hit so far this spring.
The little one is into it now.
They're on the rope for the first, this is actually the first week that the little one's been out on his own doing some antics, so they're really fun to watch. And we saw him all over already and climbing up the verticals too, so he's doing fantastic. And he learns from his sister as well. And sister, it came time mom was being trained by one of the keepers, and she wanted to do her training and her treats, and it's an enrichment for her, and baby was pinching her, so she picks the baby off of her and hands it to the sibling, and that poor thing goes, and hands it back. He didn't want anything, she didn't want anything to do with holding the baby. He's like, I'm not that babysitting age yet. But yeah, very close family structure, as you can see, and I just love seeing them. Quite often you'll see them up on their hammock, all 4 together in the afternoon, just chilling out, and they'll eat together. They're a fantastic troop. They're called a troop. Yeah.
Now you have a wide variety of species, and
do.
where do you get the feed? I mean, how do you?
It's very specialized
Yeah.
feed, very specialized feed, and we give the fruits and vegetables, and we purchase those right off the same trucks as you would see restaurants purchase from. Food Services of America actually gives us our feed. We get our feed from them, and also their supplements. So we can't grow here in the valley what they would get out of the rainforest. So there is also supplemental feed, like a browse biscuit, which is some of the greens and things. It's like a big cereal block, like an alfalfa block, but it's got things in it for the primates, and a fiber stick. And those are some, nutrients or some minerals, if you will, that we wouldn't necessarily be able to grow here for them. But along with the dark greens, the fruits and vegetables, they get that as their diet, and they get their special little fruit favorites for their training program.
Okay, so we're with the lemurs,
We're
and
with the lemurs.
the
and-
first thing I noticed is that there appears to be 2 different. There's a darker color, and then these white and black.
We have 3 species of lemurs in here, Dave. We have the black and white ruffed, we have the crowned lemur, and we have the ring-tailed, which is what people are most familiar seeing in documentaries, etc. They were all from the island of Madagascar. They're indigenous to Madagascar, and we work with Duke University Primate Center and other zoos, and they're just fantastic. The lemur feedings gives people an up-close and personal look to wildlife and an appreciation for these fine primates. Notice they have the dog-like noses.
Yeah.
They rely more on their sense of smell than the higher primates. The tails, you can actually touch them. They're very soft. Their tails are not prehensile like a true monkey.
Oh, they are
Although
very
they're
soft.
primate, their tails are used for balance when they go out into forage in the rainforest. And notice how they put their necks back, and they want that juice from the fruit to go down their throat. So the lemur feedings are one choice of behind the scenes at Chahinkapa Zoo. And I think that we know that they're very popular. We started doing it end of last season, and it has become a very, very popular. Let's have you do some. There you go. You like him, don't you like Dave? Yeah. And even their hands, and they're called hands, not paws, and they're very, very soft. If you can feel the pads on their hands, he's like, I don't like
want
that.
that.
We
Don't.
sabotaged you by giving you a dried apple he doesn't
Yes.
like. He seemed to like the grapes. Do you have a grape in there? Here we go.
They like the grapes.
Yeah. We'll give you the grapes there, and they're
Oh, no
just
raisins.
great.
Oh, there he goes.
And again, this is not their entire diet. This is just a treat during the day. We don't do more than one public lemur feeding a day. So people want to schedule this, they should call us, and we'll get them on the schedule. And that's one that we have to offer out of quite a few.
They are very,
Isn't
very
that-
soft.
Aren't they special?
Very soft.
Just a special
I
animal.
want him to come sit up here, but
Yeah, maybe if you
It's not
put
gonna
some
do
on
it.
there, maybe he might reach for it though, because he's pretty good with that. Let's put. You have any more grapes left? Let's put this right there. Oh, he's trying to pull my hand. Right up here, baby. Come on.
it's okay. There you go. Wow.
One of the we talked about enrichment so much, Dave. Things we do for them because they're not in the wild. We've actually drilled holes in their trees and they can forage for different fruits and nuts when they come out in the morning. And again, we did some of the novel items. They don't enjoy the toys as much as a true monkey would, or a gibbon, but they do some novel objects. But rearranging their furniture, the hoses, the ropes, so they don't have the same pattern, giving them new things in their habitat is a very big important. Even varying their diet, their times of feeding, is a good enrichment for them. And in the wintertime, it's more important to do more enrichment inside because they don't have these. We have these wonderful. The kids here today are big enrichment for the animals. They enjoy the public, and so it's been just a good experience. And I got one of those dried bananas he doesn't care
Doesn't
for.
want it, huh?
We got a friend over there enjoying it, and look at there's Bobby Sue.
All right, up next, the Fusa, Madagascar,
Madagascar.
the other side of the world.
Other side of the world, you
And
bet.
how did you come by Fusa?
Well, again, sticking to our collection plan and what the needs are, they were needing zoos to take Fusa. Now, we talked about animals that are invasive in the wild. These guys only had their picture taken for the first time in the mid-1990s. So 50% of their diet in Madagascar are lemurs. We don't feed them not at the zoo. But it's surprising how that is. We thought their populations, why is their populations going down? Because lemur populations are pretty high in Madagascar. Well, of course, now the Fusa are being poached. So unfortunately, zoos are needed for the breeding program as well. So here at Chahinkapa Zoo, we do have the pure bloodline Fusa, and we actually have our first offspring who's here with us, and we have a breeding female out of Florida, and so hopefully we'll be getting some offspring soon, and then they'll go back into that program for propagation of the Fusa species. So the largest hunter on the island of Madagascar. You would expect something really big. Years ago, they were much larger, like size of saber-tooth. I can't imagine a Fusa being that big and sitting up in a tree. But they're excellent, excellent hunters. They have the tails for bounce. And in a minute, we can watch their agility when they go up to feed on. We're going to give them a meat treat, a strip of beef that we're going to put on top of their habitat so you can see them. Now, there's very few mammals in the world that will go up a tree face up and down face first too. So I think we're going to demonstrate that now right over here.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Lesson-based veterinary. So you're going to see some examples of that today. She's going to do an ultrasound example. She's going to ask him some different body parts to show her. And then we're going to show you some of his enrichment, including his playing the recorder. Do keep in mind, please, they're happy to answer all your questions after the training session. They have to concentrate on him and safety during. So if you ask a question, they're not ignoring you, but they cannot answer you during the session. So training has been around Chahinkapa Zoo for a long time, since 2010, and we've made really great strides with it in our veterinary program. We're very proud of it. So please enjoy this example today.
Tally station. Good boy. Good boy. Very good boy. Fingers. All the way. Come on. Hold. Hand. Good. Hold. Hold. Very good. Toes. Hold. Hold. Good. Foot. Foot. Tail. Foot. There. Hold. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Open. Hold. Brush. Hold. Hold. There. There we go. Good boy. Very good boy. Good boy. Good boy.
She was brushing his
Trade.
I have something on.
Oh, trade. There you go. Good boy. Good boy. Sally back.
Smell it, my arm.
I know. Show it.
Hold.
I know.
Hold. Good. Tally, butt. Tally, butt.
Ah.
There you go. Hold. Good boy. Very good boy. Good boy. Oops. Go. Good boy. Very good boy. Good boy. Tally, clap. Good boy. Very good. Good boy. Good boy. Very good. Stand. Tally. Side. Hold. Hold. Ready? Side. Hold.
Cool, he's really big. He's really big.
Hey.
No, I can't do his chest.
Hold.
That was him. That was not the girl. That was
Very good boy. Ready? Good boy. Very good boy. I forgot your seatbelt. Good boy. Good boy, Tally. All done. Good
Let's
boy.
give Taylor a round of applause. He did really well.
Good job, bud.
If you miss the introduction, you have to be real careful with him because he can move fast. But if you want, listen to that. He's gonna comes running, but he's got this Harley. We call the Harley call. You can hear him. That's his excited call. He's excited that you're here to see him. And he's showing us his toe. And you remember during training today, he has a toe, sore on his toe. So we've been medicating his sticker. Sticker more powerful because of having to forage through the rainforest. Male orangutans are solitary in the wild. So he said he was house here by himself, but he's solitary in the wild. So this is fine, and he's always been by himself in a habitat, whether here or at another zoo. He was born in captivity at the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo. Then he went to Hogle Zoo, and he's a pretty important guy. We're really, really happy to have him. There's this palm oil crisis where their habitat's being destroyed to plant these trees for palm oil, which is in products that we can buy in our grocery stores that we've tried not to, because there's sustainable palm oil, which are things that we should be buying, and there's crisis palm oil. And basically what palm oil does is it keeps crunchy things crunchy and smooth things smooth. So that's what it's used for. And he's just checking out and seeing my keys back here. And you don't want them to have keys.
Right.
Orangutans share 98% of our DNA. Very, very smart. He's over 300 pounds. So somebody that smart, 10 times our strength. So we take very special care to help put out the message about his habitats and what's happening with them in the wild. And he's just gorgeous. He's just a handsome guy. He's just a handsome guy, and we really
And smart,
appreciate
too.
Oh, so smart. He is so smart. And like I said, animals do live longer in captivity with the exception of some marine mammals and some other species, but he'll live to be, 50, 60 years in the zoo. And of course, in the wild, somebody his size doesn't live high in the canopy like the smaller orangutans. And people often ask, look at that color. How is that
even camouflaging. It's pretty brilliant color. Well, the sunshine shining through the canopy of the rainforest with the green, this actually camouflages orange really, really well. Just like the orange tiger with the black stripes and the blades of grass. The orange camouflage is really, really good in greenery. So very effective. So he spends his days here. He has inside viewing for the public as well for inclement weather and off season. And we have to do a variety of different things in his habitat, as you can see.
So now earlier we saw him play the recorder,
We did.
and he has special guests coming to visit him.
He does. This is the third season that the New York Kammer Musiker Woodwind Ensemble comes from New York, does a concert here with him, and hopefully he'll play his solo. He does a pretty good job. He enjoys the classical music. He has their CDs. You know, don't expect him to be doing
Yeah,
but he
right.
does really well, which you witnessed
Yes, we
earlier.
did.
He enjoys it, and that's the main thing. It's enrichment for him, and if it wasn't, then we wouldn't even do it. He also paints on canvas,
Yeah.
and that money goes straight to conservation efforts here at Chahinkapa Zoo. He's very interested. I got something you can give him. I don't know if you want. This is a special treat. This is a juice
Ooh.
sickle. So not a lot of sugar in it, but we're going to allow you to give this today.
Okay.
You just hold on to the stick.
He already knows what's coming.
There you go. See if he'll take that from you.
With his
It's a
hand, how
special
will he
treat.
take
He'll
it?
take it with his mouth. He'll take a bite. There you go.
Now, earlier, when they were training Tal,
Mm-hmm.
and you were feeding him a number of grapes, you'd put them in his mouth, and he'd put them in his hand.
Yeah.
He'd take them out of his, and that was,
He knows how he wants to
yeah,
eat.
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, he just,
In addition to his fruits and vegetables, he gets some primate biscuits, which have the things we can't grow here in North Dakota that are good for zoo apes. And sometimes he'll see how many he can get in his mouth. He had like 23 in there in one day. And then he adds water, and then he presents us with this nice little sculpture of his food. So he plays with his
you want
food.
more, Tal? No? You all done?
He's done. He's really interested
all
that you're
done.
back here. I think he's more interested in seeing you back here than anything.
Yep.
And showing us his toe. Yeah, we see how he spread it when we
Yeah,
went
we
down
see it,
here.
Tal.
We see your little owie. Did you see his face when I did that? Look how he's looking down at his toe when we're examining it. Highly intelligent, highly intelligent. I have trouble calling this guy an animal because he's so closely related to us, and he's just so majestic and wonderful. I think I'm really lucky. I'm always in awe of something every day on the job, and that's a really good place to be in life.